A Taoist priest who had been catching ghosts for 800 years, actually messed up right before retirement. Not only did he fail to kill the newly turned rookie zombie, but he was also turned into a zombie subordinate by the man. And before that, he had intended to use the yang energy in his blood to drain the man to death. But unexpectedly, before the other party turned to ash, the old Taoist priest discovered in horror that the zombie not only didn't die, but had actually become even stronger. It turned out that Lin Tian, being a top student, had an idea. Since the old man's yang energy is greater than mine, then I'll convert it into normal blood. So, under Lin Tian's experiment, he indeed successfully absorbed the yang blood. Lin Tian, after absorbing the blood, successfully regained his ability to speak. He didn't expect that before he could say anything, the old Taoist was directly drained dry by him. Old man, you can't just die after hitting me. So Lin Tian bit down. Even if I have to turn you into a zombie, you have to make things clear to me. It turned out, Lin Tian was originally just an ordinary office worker, Jin unable to bear his sister being bullied by the company's rich second-generation heir. Lin Tian beat up the bully who harassed his sister. The rich second-generation heir gave him a beating. As a result, it was he himself who was fired by the company afterwards. And the company employees who witnessed everything all turned a blind eye. No one was willing to testify for Lin Tian. Lin Tian suddenly understood, this was the rich heir's company, who would stand up for him, and ruin their own future. Losing his job right after starting made Lin Tian afraid to go home directly, so he prepared his words, and put on a relaxed appearance. But who knew, just as he reached his doorstep, a towering fire engulfed the house. Just as Lin Tian was about to rush in to find his parents and sister, a group of burly men rushed out and bundled him into a van. Only then did he realize the rich heir had come for revenge. And the fire at his home was also set by the rich heir and his group. Lin Tian was suddenly so angry, he didn't know where the strength came from, and fiercely choked the rich heir's neck. This also made the attacks from behind more violent. With one strong blow, Lin Tian was beaten to death. The rich heir was stunned. He was too fragile. Afterwards he had his underlings bury Lin Tian's body on the spot. If someone suddenly discovered it, there would be big trouble. But whether it was too much resentment or too deep an obsession, not long after, Lin Tian actually woke up again. Having become a zombie, he quickly recalled the scenes from his life, so he braced himself and jumped outside. If he didn't avenge this, he wasn't human, but as soon as he jumped, he fell dizzily. Lin Tian decided to first get used to this new body. 2.5 hours later, he finally mastered a few techniques. After a whole night of exertion, he felt very weak. Could zombies also get tired? It wasn't until he discovered his body starting to decay that Lin Tian noticed the sun had already risen. Just being exposed to the sun for a moment, Lin Tian felt like he was about to ignite. His consciousness was becoming increasingly blurry. If he didn't hide well before the sun came out, he would very likely be roasted to death by the sun. But looking around, there was only a mass grave and flat land around. There was simply nowhere to go. Suddenly, a familiar smell wafted over. Lin Tian instantly sensed the surrounding terrain. He thought of a good idea, though it was a bit unethical. So he found a spot and started digging. Without a word, he pried open a coffin. Then, somewhat embarrassedly, with the old brother inside, he lay down together. Just when Lin Tian thought he had escaped disaster, he suddenly smelled a familiar scent again. It was then he remembered. Today is the 15th of the 7th lunar month, the Ghost Festival. If nothing unexpected happened, many people would come to sweep graves, and this coffin being dug up was so conspicuous. If someone discovered it, he would surely die without a burial place. An intense drowsiness overcame him. No matter how worried Lin Tian was, it was no use. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Tian suddenly woke up with a start. To his surprise, a day had passed, and he was actually fine. Seeing no one around, Lin Tian thanked the old brother and left. Before he could get far, an intense hunger swept through his body. Even his throat felt a burning pain. But thinking that today was the Ghost Festival, there must be delicious food left by people here. He found an apple and took a fierce bite. The next second, he spat it out in disgust. Is this fake? Why do these people use rotten apples for offerings? So bitter and smelly, like it was taken out of a toilet. Just then, a fragrant aroma wafted over. Lin Tian felt this was something he could eat. When he got closer, he found it was actually an injured little bird. He couldn't help but drool. It seemed he was attracted by the fresh blood. The next second, Lin Tian lost his sanity. He grabbed the little lamb and began to feed frantically. Instantly, a sense of comfort swept through his body. This sweet, invasive feeling made his whole body tingle. With just one jump, Lin Tian leaped dozens of meters high and felt his whole body filled with strength. But his first time drinking blood quickly drove Lin Tian into a frenzy. This low-grade blood couldn't satisfy his desire at all. He wanted human blood, a mouthful of sweet human blood. Just then, a sound came from nearby. It turned out a passerby had found the recently drained little lamb. The zombie's instinct told Lin Tian he had to eat it, but his remaining human consciousness didn't want to harm an innocent. Suddenly, the man who was on the phone with his wife accidentally scratched his neck on a roadside tree branch. The glistening fresh blood made him instantly lose his sanity. He made a big leap and landed behind the man. But just as Lin Tian opened his fangs, ready to feast, he heard the voices of his wife and child from the other end of the phone. By the time the man noticed something, Lin Tian was already long gone. In the end, reason triumphed over desire. The scene of the man on the phone reminded Lin Tian of his own family, so he howled at the bright moon to vent the desire in his heart. But then, an even more fragrant smell came. It seemed a man and a woman were approaching. The two heard Lin Tian's earlier howl and concluded there must be a zombie here. So the Taoist senior brother immediately opened his yin-yang eyes. He made a bold claim that it would only take 2.5 minutes to eliminate Lin Tian. But Lin Tian hid aside, observing, in this day and age, where did Taoist priests come from? Better run away quickly. This smell is too fragrant. What if I can't resist and eat them later? But before Lin Tian could leave, the Taoist suddenly looked up. Hey, zombie, I've been watching you for a while. Next second, a talisman flew over. Lin Tian instantly felt something was wrong. His sixth sense told him to dodge quickly. Sure enough, the moment the tree was touched by the talisman, it was blasted into pieces. He pointed at the two in panic. Don't kill me, I'm a person. But the two Taoists clearly didn't understand, and thought Lin Tian was provoking them. Lin Tian was anxious and started flailing his arms and legs. But unexpectedly, it only made things worse. This hopping zombie actually has intelligence. Looks like he wants us to attack together. The senior brother, without saying much, directly took out 2 magical artifacts. Fortunately, Lin Tian was agile and dodged. Knowing he was no match, he turned and ran. But this junior sister was relentless and threw out a pile of paper talismans. This attack was clearly more powerful than the coin sword. It actually formed a golden bell shield and trapped Lin Tian. Just by touching the golden light of the talisman, Lin Tian's fingers were burned black, and at this moment, the senior brother, taking advantage of his unpreparedness, launched a sneak attack. That coin sword flew directly towards Lin Tian's heart. Just as he thought he was about to die, that coin sword, which had slain countless enemies, actually fell apart. The unexpected turn of events stunned the senior brother on the spot, so the junior sister took out a peachwood sword and charged over. As a result, as soon as the peachwood sword touched Lin Tian's skin, it turned into splinters. Moreover, the junior sister was sent flying by the recoil. Taking this opportunity, Lin Tian directly rushed out of the golden bell shield and fled. Unexpectedly, this zombie not only had intelligence, but magical artifacts were also completely ineffective against it. Instantly, he decided to capture Lin Tian and refine him into a puppet. The next second, he flashed in front of him. This time, he used the Chenkuan Bagua formation to block Lin Tian. The senior brother smiled. As long as the zombie jumps into it, even if he has heaven-defying abilities, he can't escape. But the next second, both of them were dumbfounded. Lin Tian directly avoided the Bagua formation in front of him. These two Taoists don't seem very smart, plotting loudly in front of me. The junior sister told him the zombie seemed to be able to see things, but the senior brother didn't believe it. So he directly set up a double Chenkuan Bagua formation, but Lin Tian still dodged it with a turn. Senior brother, this guy can really see. The senior brother, who was initially furious, then became excited again. This is a treasure. A zombie immune to magic and able to see. Unheard of. Never heard of it. Only to see. He took out a zombifixing talisman drawn by his master, and directly stuck it on Lin Tian's forehead. Instantly, he felt his whole body out of control. Only then did the junior sister dare to approach and observe closely. This zombie is quite handsome. Lin Tian was dumbfounded. At least show some respect for the corpse. Just as the junior sister was about to get closer, the senior brother suddenly said, "Let me test you with a question. How should a zombie be refined into a puppet?" Speaking of this, the junior sister got excited again. Of course, dig out the brain, stuff it with talismans, and then soak it in fresh blood. As soon as these words were spoken, Lin Tian broke out in a cold sweat. "If my brain is dug out, won't I really die? My enemies aren't dead yet. Why should I be killed by you again?" For a moment, his desire to live reached its peak. That immobilization talisman was also destroyed. Without restraints, Lin Tian immediately started hopping around again. He slapped the senior brother, wanting him to scram quickly, but unexpectedly, the fresh blood made Lin Tian lose his sanity. At the critical moment, the senior brother suddenly appeared and injured the junior sister. The junior sister was stunned. "Senior brother, why are you doing this?" "Junior sister, don't hold a grudge. I will avenge you." Then he ran off like a scared duck. And at this moment, Lin Tian had already jumped in front of the junior sister. His hands fiercely pierced her arms. The junior sister screamed from the pain of the corpse poison, constantly begging for mercy. "Please, let me go." But seeing the delicious meal before him, Lin Tian simply couldn't resist. Suddenly, he threw the junior sister aside, and struggled to regain his sanity. Inhuman, inhuman. The constant clash between reason and desire made Lin Tian extremely uncomfortable. Soon, he hopped away from this place. But then he noticed something was wrong. His body became very numb. The skin all over his body also began to rot. His eyes gradually couldn't see. Only then did he realize that zombies would really die if they didn't drink human blood. But not long after, a warm current flowed through his body. Opening his eyes, he only saw someone feeding him blood. By the time Lin Tian reacted, he realized, isn't this person the junior sister from before? He knocked the blood over with a sweep of his hand, then roared at the junior sister. "Look what you've done." Although he didn't understand what the other person said, he still apologized. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean any harm." Seeing Lin Tian's face full of despair, he helped him up. "I know what you're worried about, but you've already become a zombie. You have to accept this reality. If you don't drink human blood, your body will soon decay." But the stubborn Lin Tian thought, this would lead to losing control and harming innocent people. Who knew? The junior sister looked at him with a confident expression. "I believe you won't go around harming people." Then she exposed her wound. Seeing the fresh blood, Lin Tian subconsciously pounced towards the junior sister. But no matter how ferocious Lin Tian looked, the junior sister wasn't worried at all. Instead, she said teasingly, "Are you feeling less uncomfortable now?" Lin Tian showed a puzzled look. The junior sister explained to him, "This is because you're full now. You won't be hungry at all. If you keep starving yourself and drink animal blood, not only will it not solve the problem, but it will stimulate you to harm people." Lin Tian was speechless. This woman is not normal, but thinking about her going out at night to catch zombies, it would be strange if she were normal. But suddenly, the woman showed an infatuated look again. "Looking like a wolf like this is really so handsome. If such a handsome person were gone, I would be very sad." Hearing this, Lin Tian concluded this person was a lunatic. Then he left in the opposite direction. But the junior sister suddenly shouted, "Wait." Then she took out a bottle filled with fresh blood. Lin Tian looked puzzled. Only then did the junior sister say, "I collected this when I was injured just now, and you don't have to worry. We Taoists are fine even if we lose half our blood." Lin Tian wanted to refuse, but the junior sister was so insistent, she even tried to force it on him. As a result, with a bang, it fell. No choice. To avoid being harassed by this little pervert, Lin Tian directly hung the bottle around his neck, and her enthusiasm was just to make Lin Tian not come back. On the other side, inside the Taoist temple, the senior brother was crying and complaining to his master. "Junior sister was bitten to death by a zombie. I tried to save her but was scratched by the zombie." The old Taoist priest's face turned ashen. "So you came back alone, right? That zombie is very strong. Magical artifacts and talismans don't work. With my strength alone, I couldn't save Xiao Xiao." Seeing his disciple still trying to argue, the old Taoist directly told him to shut up. Even if bitten, zombification takes 7 days. He threw out 3 talismans. "Quickly bring your junior sister back. Remember, just bring her back. Don't do anything unnecessary." Then the old Taoist showed a look of disgust. I am very disappointed in you. Carrying the talismans given by his master, the man rushed down the mountain, but halfway down, he saw the junior sister leaning on a crutch. He couldn't help but be surprised. How is Xiao Xiao still alive? Then he still pretended to care and approached. Junior sister, I'm so glad you're okay. You almost worried senior brother to death. But unexpectedly, the junior sister pushed him away. Stay away from me. I will tell master about this. You just wait. Thinking of how his master would react, the man directly knelt and apologized. Junior sister, I'm sorry. My mind was blank at that time. This is all a misunderstanding. But at this moment, the junior sister was clear-headed. A misunderstanding? When you slashed me with your sword, I didn't see any hesitation. Using me to attract the zombie, you really played your cards well. But the senior brother was indeed an old actor, with tears and snot running down his face. I'm about to inherit the sect. I really can't die. If it weren't for that zombie, I would never have done this. Please don't tell master. Otherwise, I'll be expelled from the sect. Give me a chance. I know I was wrong. Just as the junior sister was crying and about to forgive him, unexpectedly, the man flashed behind her. The next second, he directly pierced her with his sword. I'm sorry, junior sister. I still can't let you live. Meanwhile, Lin Tian was soaring around. Being full is really different. A casual jump is like taking off. He casually chopped down a large tree, then kicked it into the sky. With just one strike, he smashed it into splinters. Lin Tian couldn't help but marvel. Just drinking a little human blood made him so much stronger. It seems he could take revenge soon. Looking down, even his vision had become clearer. His sense of smell became exceptionally keen. Various smells could materialize in his mind. But suddenly, a familiar scent drifted over. Lin Tian was startled. This is the blood scent of that little pervert. And it's not the smell from the bottle. Rather, it came from further away. It must be a massive amount of bleeding. At this time, the man was still spouting villainous words. Junior sister, don't blame me. Blame yourself for insisting on coming back alive. You know, master is too shrewd. Once you appear before him, he will understand everything. Besides, you should know, if I'm expelled from the sect, who else can inherit it? So you weren't killed by me, but sacrificed for the sect. As for that zombie, I will eliminate him today. At the critical moment, Lin Tian, with a flying kick, aimed straight for his face. He was yelling, so it's you again, you bastard. Does a guy like you even deserve to be called human? But the Taoist didn't understand a word. Instead, he was happy Lin Tian had walked right into a trap. Looking at the dying junior sister in his arms, Lin Tian howled, telling her to hold on. But the junior sister told him to run quickly. The Taoist was shocked. You two can actually communicate. But when he saw the bottle around Lin Tian's neck, he understood. You actually threatened the zombie, and made him come to retaliate against you. You want him to destroy my sect, right? How audacious. It seems I was right to kill you. Lin Tian stared at him fiercely, wishing he could tear him into pieces. Seeing this, the Taoist continued his inhuman remarks. Does my junior sister's blood taste good? Hurry up while it's hot. This time, I'll let you drink your fill. As soon as these words were spoken, Lin Tian flew into a rage on the spot and pounced. The Taoist watched him fall into the trap. Calmly, he summoned the talismans his master had given him, then directly used the 3-chi turtle formation, and trapped Lin Tian. After the talisman formation activated, Lin Tian was instantly beaten until his flesh split open. This is a top-tier talisman formation from my master. Using it on a mere hopping zombie is truly a waste of blood. It's your honor to be destroyed by it. At this moment, Lin Tian felt like his whole body was about to break apart. But he still held on and delivered the blood to his mouth. In just a moment, he drank the entire large bottle of blood. But the Taoist laughed out loud. A Taoist's body contains young blood. Are you trying to let your yin energy dissipate from within by drinking it? Sure enough, Lin Tian, after drinking the blood, felt even worse. Just as he thought he was going to die because of this, the junior sister beside him had drawn a talisman on a stone by herself. Then, before the Taoist could chant the final incantation, she attacked. This completely enraged the Taoist. As a human, you actually help a zombie. I will execute you now. But as soon as he raised his hand, he was subdued by Lin Tian. He disarmed the sanctimonious Taoist, then kicked him in the spine. This kick sent him flying 250 li. When he looked at the junior sister, She was already on the brink of death. Drink the rest of my blood. After drinking, don't come back. Otherwise, Master will kill you. Lin Tian ignored this. Instead, he tried to find a way to keep her from dying. Suddenly, he thought, since I'm a zombie, could I, like in the movies, turn her too? Then he asked for the junior sister's opinion. Are you willing to become like me? The junior sister was first stunned. Then, with her eyes closed, she whispered her assent. I am willing. After getting her reply, Lin Tian no longer hesitated, and bit directly into the junior sister's neck. But the next second, the junior sister's pupils dilated. She looked as if she had died. Lin Tian looked at everything, somewhat at a loss. Did she just die like that? I must have killed her. How could I naively think that if she was bitten by me, she could still become like me? Movies are all lies. Not long after, something happened to the junior sister. She suddenly stood up. Lin Tian was startled. This speed of turning into a zombie is too fast. The junior sister sniffed fiercely, then leaped out. The Taoist who was kicked away was crying and filled with hatred. His lower body had no sensation at all. How did it end up like this? Then he saw a horrifying scene. The junior sister had actually come before him, and in zombie form. Now he cried even harder. Junior sister, no. Senior brother knows he was wrong, but only a sweet smile answered him. By the time Lin Tian arrived, the man had already been drained dry by the junior sister. Slowly, the junior sister also regained her senses. She retreated in horror, feeling somewhat incredulous. She had actually killed her senior brother. Lin Tian asked if she was okay, but the junior sister just stammered and pointed behind her, looking terrified. Now Lin Tian was frustrated. Now I can't understand her words again. Seeing that she couldn't make herself clear, the junior sister hurriedly pushed Lin Tian away. Lin Tian was about to say something. The next second, a paper talisman was stuck on him, and the junior sister was also hooded and taken away by the old Taoist priest. Lin Tian instantly felt something was wrong. This talisman is completely different. He couldn't move a single finger. The old man cursed fiercely. You vile creature. You do have some skill. Fortunately, you haven't become too powerful yet. I, Yang Zi, will enforce justice on behalf of heaven today, and eliminate you once again. And Lin Tian, taking advantage of the old Taoist's momentary inspection of the junior sister, tried again to make the talisman on his forehead ineffective. Under Lin Tian's strong mental power, the paper talisman indeed ignited again, but Yang Zi just snorted coldly, then threw out 2 more talismans. But the moment the paper talismans touched Lin Tian, they ignited. The old Taoist was somewhat surprised. The effect of the talismans is minimal. What about my magical artifact? With a wave of his hand, the magical artifact named 4-wheeled coffin nail shot out. But this artifact didn't pierce Lin Tian's skin as expected. It only felt like a mosquito bite to him. The magical artifact is completely ineffective. I see. This is not a hopping zombie at all. Seeing that the other party couldn't harm me, I told him to release the junior sister, but unexpectedly, the old Taoist calmly put the junior sister down, then chanted an incantation. Since external objects are ineffective, then I'll destroy you with my bare hands. Lin Tian was stunned. His instincts told him the old Taoist was very dangerous. Sure enough, the old Taoist flashed in front of Lin Tian in an instant. The next second, he struck out with his palm. Lin Tian was almost beaten to the point of throwing up last night's dinner, and then he was sent flying 30 meters. The surrounding trees couldn't stop him. The old Taoist initially landed confidently to check, but the next second, he couldn't hold it in. Supreme Heavenly Venerate, how could such a thing happen? Then he pointed out, you're not dead at all. But why did you become a zombie? He looked coldly at the state of his 2 disciples behind him, and said to Lin Tian, you can understand human speech, right? Lin Tian nodded quickly in affirmation. Inhuman. That girl is also conscious. Please let us go. But who knew, the old Taoist didn't understand at all. Instead, he muttered to himself, conscious, and actually killed 2 people. Evil sin. I will do my utmost to make you perish in agony. Seeing the old Taoist getting serious, Lin Tian panicked. I didn't kill anyone. Why do you all wrongly accuse me? The old Taoist threw a punch. Lin Tian blocked with both arms, but just with that one blow, the bones in his arms shattered inch by inch. This really hurt Lin Tian badly, but the old Taoist didn't stop because of this. Instead, a fierce kick aimed straight for his face. In 2.5 seconds, The old Taoist landed dozens of blows. Lin Tian's body, injured, began to collapse. He lay weakly on the ground. This is too exaggerated. Just a few punches and I'm almost done for. The only way now is to drink blood to replenish energy. So he made a big leap towards the pool of blood in front. But at this moment, Yang Zi wrapped his arms around Lin Tian's neck from behind. This feeling of being so close yet unable to drink was extremely unbearable. So he used all his strength to reach for the ground. No one expected. The moment Lin Tian's hands touched the pool of blood, the blood automatically flowed into his body. The wounds and bones in his arms also healed in that instant. This abnormal ability left Yang Zi completely dumbfounded. After recovering, Lin Tian threw the old Taoist off. But this also made Yang Zi furious. So what if you recovered? I'll just kill you again. But this full-powered blow was actually caught by Lin Tian. Yang Zi was somewhat shocked. Just touching the blood made him so much stronger. The next second, Lin Tian's fingernails pierced the back of the old Taoist's hand. Streams of corpse poison quickly flowed into his body, but it was completely unexpected. Yang Zi actually cut off his own hand with a slash. Since you like harmony so much, then how about tasting my blood of ultimate yang? Speak. He directly pressed his severed arm against the back of Lin Tian's neck. As Yang Zi began to channel his magic, a stream of pure, young blood continuously surged into Lin Tian's body. In that instant, Lin Tian only felt like he was about to be purified. Yang Zi said coldly, "This feeling is like strong acid being injected into your body. Reflect on your sins in this pain." But Lin Tian couldn't understand what crime he had committed. Why did he need to reflect on his mistakes? So he exerted a sudden force. The old Taoist's blood was quickly sucked away by him. "You want to torture me? Then I'll make you disappear." But unexpectedly, his own body began to collapse first. Only then did the old Taoist say, "Your yin energy is far weaker than my yang. The faster you absorb, the faster you will die." Lin Tian couldn't hold on any longer. If he didn't drink blood, he would be finished. And the blood on the ground had already seeped into the soil. He couldn't absorb a single drop of this old Taoist's blood. Just as Lin Tian was at a loss, suddenly, a flash of inspiration. As long as I use my excess yin energy to purify his blood, wouldn't that work? So he immediately took action. But the power of the young blood far exceeded his imagination. Just one drop was agonizingly painful. The old Taoist also told him to stop struggling and quickly submit. Lin Tian didn't pay any attention and began his second attempt. This time, he succeeded. After absorbing one drop of blood, his wounds began to heal. Then he increased the dosage. Soon, he could drink dozens of milliliters. The old Taoist priest was stunned. This zombie's yin energy is constantly increasing, and after Lin Tian absorbed several hundred milliliters of yang blood, he also gradually became immune. Finally, he could absorb it freely. Soon, the old Taoist was drained dry. He fell into a state of extreme blood loss. Lin Tian was anxious. "Let go of me quickly. If this continues, I'll die." But the old Taoist, hearing this, forcefully took a breath. "Mere death. I have long been prepared for it." Then he erupted with immense power. He used his lifelong ultimate skill, chaotic Tao annihilation. An illusory image of Zhong Kuei appeared. Immense pressure instantly exploded in Lin Tian's mind. This dying old Taoist actually still possessed such power. "In a little while, I'll be gone." But the next second, this pressure disappeared. Lin Tian looked back, only to find the old Taoist had already fallen. Looking closely again, the other's pupils had dilated, clearly a sign of death. Looking at this hateful expression, Lin Tian couldn't hold back. "Why are you looking at me like that? What did I do wrong? We have no grievances or enmity. Why go to this extent?" Then he bit the old Taoist. "No matter what, you have to tell me today, clearly." After doing this, the old Taoist fell with a thud. Lin Tian also observed from the side. Not long after, the other party stood up directly. The next moment, he attacked again. "You vile creature, you're still not dead. Taste my yin-yang infinite fist." But then he was shocked. He actually couldn't gather yang energy. He looked at his own changes in disbelief, constantly muttering, "Impossible. This is absolutely impossible." The Taoist priest's fingertips grew sharp nails. His arm also began to regenerate. He gathered his strength and charged at Lin Tian again. "What have you turned me into?" Hearing this, Lin Tian also panicked. He subconsciously roared, "Don't come over." But unexpectedly, the old Taoist actually stopped. This made the zombie overjoyed. You dare hit me? Now I'm the boss. Along with it came the ability to speak. Lin Tian found he could talk, so he began to escalate his demands. Attention. At ease. He put Yang Zi through all the drills. This really angered the old Taoist. The Taoist sect is unfortunate. The Taoist sect is unfortunate. Having played enough, Lin Tian made the old Taoist stand at attention like a soldier. Then he removed the hood from the junior sister. But when the junior sister saw everything before her, she was completely stunned. Her favorite master had actually become a zombie. She found it incredible. Then she turned around and pounced on Lin Tian. Lin Tian just said faintly, "You, stand at attention too." The junior sister couldn't move him. He was really fed up with these people. Why do you all like to act recklessly without distinguishing right from wrong? Yang Zi, I'm telling you, you were already dead. I saved you. So can you calm down and listen to me for a few sentences? The old Taoist was indeed furious. You turned me into a zombie and dare to say you saved me? This is simply demagoguery. Lin Tian didn't want to argue with him either. So what do you think? I just want to make it clear to you. Neither of your two disciples was harmed by me. This girl was killed by her senior brother. Look at the wound on her abdomen and you'll understand. I just brought her back to life. As for your other disciple, he was bitten to death by her. It can be considered self-inflicted. I also don't know why I became a zombie, but my mind is still clear. You knew this, yet you still wanted to kill me. I have never harmed anyone. But the old Taoist was skeptical of Lin Tian's words. Even if they weren't killed by you, they died because of you. And someone like you, unafraid of Taoist magic, with recovery and growth abilities far beyond ordinary, and a zombie that still retains its intelligence. Letting you roam the world will only harm countless people. Those who are already dead should not dream of continuing to exist in the world. This is the way of heaven. Hearing the words way of heaven, Lin Tian couldn't hold back. Then please help me ask that so-called way of heaven. Why can rich people do whatever they want, and oppress the poor? Why can people, for their own selfish interests, distort black and white, and not distinguish right from wrong? Why are people who live honestly beaten to death? Why do those who harm others live well? While I, who became a zombie and don't harm anyone, must be eliminated, and with all this, you still talk to me about the way of heaven? To hell with the way of heaven. Hearing this, the old Taoist didn't know what to say. He could only watch Lin Tian begin to transform. I don't have time to consider grand rights and wrongs. Right now, I only want to personally kill my enemy. If anyone tries to obstruct me, whether God or Buddha, whoever stands in my way must die. Looking at Lin Tian, now covered in fur, both of them were shocked. This zombie actually evolved. Lin Tian walked towards the forest. It's getting light. I suggest you find a place to hide. Also, you can move freely now. Hearing this, Yang Zi closed his eyes and remained silent for a long time. Then he directly took out two talismans. Next, he waved them towards his ears. The talismans actually ignited. After doing all this, he grabbed Xiao Xiao, and with a leap, directly exposed himself to the sunlight. Lin Tian was furious. Yang Zi, what are you doing? Get away from the sunlight quickly. But Yang Zi, after using the talismans, was completely out of control. He said with a resolute expression, "Zombies absolutely cannot live in this world. Even if we were once Taoist priests, it's the same." Hearing Xiao Xiao's painful howls, the old man still showed reluctance. After all, from the moment Xiao Xiao was born, he had always kept her by his side, whether it was cultivation or learning. He raised her single-handedly, until yesterday when she went out with the senior disciple. She actually turned into this state. The old Taoist was filled with regret. Xiao Xiao, Master has failed you. I couldn't let you be a normal girl for even a day, nor could I protect you well. Xiao Xiao was also moved by all this. Yes, how did it turn into this? Seeing the situation, Lin Tian rushed into the sun. At this moment, he was extremely furious. I died, yet I'm desperately trying to live. And you want to commit suicide in front of me. This really makes me want to give you a few big slaps. Come back quickly, otherwise, it will really be too late. Seeing Lin Tian's anxious look, the old Taoist looked at the young Xiao Xiao. Do you want to live? The junior sister had tears in her eyes, clearly in a pleading state. Seeing this, the old Taoist seemed to have made up his mind. 2.5 seconds later, he gritted his teeth, then roared at Lin Tian, "Zombie, and threw the junior sister out with one hand. Lin Tian got up and rushed towards the junior sister. Then, with a sudden exertion of force, he carried her back under the tree. Fortunately, they made it in time. Both zombies reached safety. Seeing her master didn't come over, the junior sister cried and was about to go. In just a breath, the old man's body began to disintegrate. His eyes were filled with confusion. Heavenly Venerate, why did it turn out like this? And facing Yang Zi's death, the junior sister cried until she fainted. Lin Tian was very puzzled. What's the use of suffering? Now, when we're sad, we can't even shed tears. We can only keep looking forward. Looking at the sleeping junior sister, she was somewhat curious. Logically, I should be sleepy too, but I don't feel anything now. Could it be that after becoming stronger, I'm not afraid of the daytime anymore? So Lin Tian jumped directly into the sun. But the next second, a burning sensation covered his whole body. Lin Tian was scared. Direct sunlight is still unbearable. So he prepared to set off to find a new blessing, and the junior sister was buried by him. Looking at this grave mound, he was very satisfied. This way, others won't find out. After all, in broad daylight, carrying a zombie to find shelter is not appropriate. They'll come back for her when it's dark. But Lin Tian was very clear-headed. If the other party dared to hinder his revenge, then he wouldn't care about her anymore. Soon, Lin Tian set off, carrying a large tree, but not far along, his calves buckled, and he fell to his knees midway. Lin Tian didn't understand why his legs suddenly gave out. Not just his legs, his arms could also bend. His eyes could see more clearly. Only then did he realize his body was covered in fur. He didn't know when it had grown. This time it's really barbecue. Fewer and fewer parts of his body resembled a human. All of this was thanks to the rich second-generation Wang Yifan. In this state, let alone revenge, he probably couldn't even enter the city. Lin Tian initially wanted to disguise himself first, but unexpectedly, the smell of human blood came from afar. Following the scent, unknowingly, he arrived at a cave, and sounds of help kept coming from inside. Lin Tian was just about to go in and take a look, but unexpectedly, the roar of a fierce beast came from inside. Seeing the monster before him, he was stunned. What on earth is this thing? It wasn't anything else, but a giant tiger. Lin Tian's mind was collapsing. Can tigers be this big? Soon, he saw the man behind it calling for help. Isn't this man the uncle, who was on the phone last night? He told the man to stay calm, he'll come save you right away. At this moment, the tiger also launched an attack. Its human-sized paw swiped directly at Lin Tian. Lin Tian threw a punch somewhat unconfidently. Whether he could win or not, just throw a punch first. Unexpectedly, this punch knocked the tiger's eye out. Its teeth scattered everywhere. Lin Tian looked at his hands in disbelief. How could this be? Is this tiger made of paper? The uncle also looked at Lin Tian in disbelief. Is he dead? Lin Tian reached out to pull the man up. It's okay now. You don't seem to be seriously injured. Your son has been waiting for you all night. Hurry home. Hearing this, the man was confused. Thank you. But how do you know about my son? Lin Tian smiled wickedly. I divined it. But this appearance stunned the man. Isn't this damn thing a monster? Then he rushed out of the cave like a madman. This dealt Lin Tian a considerable blow. After becoming like this, I haven't even looked in a mirror. I'll wait until dark, find some clothes, and then go out. Soon it was night. Lin Tian decided tonight's task was to dress himself up. Finally, I'll cut my hair. I'm so strong now. As long as I see Wang Yifan, the mission will be over, no need to rush. But this Wang Yifan is also quite capable. To find such a remote place in this city, after walking for so long, I still haven't found any inhabited place. Just wash your neck and wait. Soon I'll give you a good lesson. Lin Tian had just made his threat. The next second, a thick fog arose. His vision and sense of smell were both affected. So, as he walked, he stepped on a wooden board. Lin Tian was somewhat surprised. There's actually a cellar in this place. If there's a cellar, there must be people nearby, right? So he decided to first see what's down there. Before he could see, voices came from ahead. Has the fog dispersed? Why are there suddenly people here? Lin Tian walked towards the village without thinking. Soon, he took a liking to the clothes drying in a courtyard. Not only a suit but also a shirt. I'll just borrow these for now. I'll return them when I'm done. But at this moment, the people inside the house noticed Lin Tian's movement. What are you still doing outside? Hurry back for dinner. Lin Tian kicked out suddenly. That was close. I almost got discovered. But now I'm still missing a pair of scissors. Just as Lin Tian was thinking about scissors, the people inside spoke again. Hurry up and eat. Mom made all your favorite dishes today. Xiao Tian, you must have suffered these past 2 days outside. Hearing this, Lin Tian was stunned. He looked at the scene before him in disbelief. Mom, is that really you? Looking inside, not only his mom, his dad and sister were also there. They all welcomed Lin Tian's return. Lin Tian was somewhat excited. How could this be? Aren't you already? But even with some doubts, Lin Tian couldn't resist his mother's enthusiasm, and walked straight into the house, and the door closed at that moment. Just then, the fog that had previously dispersed surged again, and looking from afar, only Lin Tian stood alone, dazed. From the cellar earlier, creaking laughter could be heard. Laughing at him inside was a group of neither human nor ghost-like things. Things that were not quite human, not quite ghost. It turned out this was the ghost tree illusion that zombies entered. As long as his psychological defenses were broken, this strong body could be possessed. It turned out Lin Tian hadn't returned home, but was standing motionless in the mountain forest. The battlefield was constantly filled with the laughter of evil spirits. A soul full of obsession, a strong and powerful body. It looks truly delicious. Well, but in Lin Tian's eyes, it was a different scene. Dad, Mom, and sister were genuinely happy to see him. But he still asked the question in his heart. How did you all end up here? Dad actually said, this is our old family's house. I brought you here when you were very young. Lin Tian awkwardly scratched his head. I see. No wonder I have no impression. Never mind that. Hurry up and eat. I made all your favorite dishes. Your mom knew you were coming back. She's been busy since early morning. Haha, I haven't cooked like this in a long time. At this moment, Lin Tian had no defenses at all. I haven't eaten for 2 days. I was starving. Then he began to wolf down the food. But this time it was completely different from not long ago. Lin Tian actually found the food very delicious. The rest of his family looked at him dotingly. Brother, our family will live here from now on. We won't go anywhere else, okay? Lin Tian didn't get lost in this. Silly girl, if I don't work, what will you eat? What about Dad's illness? But unexpectedly, Dad directly took out a police report. My illness is all better. I don't need dialysis anymore, and don't worry about food. There are livestock and vegetables here. There's also a fish pond in the backyard. I'll take you fishing tomorrow. At this moment, Lin Tian remembered something. But I still have to take revenge. Wang Yifan burned down our house. He killed us all. At this moment, all 3 of them told him not to talk nonsense. We're all still here and fine. What nonsense are you talking? But Lin Tian's obsession was exceptionally firm. Their words didn't affect him. No, I must kill him to take revenge. Seeing Lin Tian unmoved, all 3 of them turned cold. So annoying. We're already dead. Why think so much? A shout sobered Lin Tian up considerably. That's right. You are all already dead. Even if I kill him, you won't come back. At the same time in reality, Lin Tian's body began to decay inch by inch. And at this moment, his soul gradually floated out of his body. Even so, Lin Tian still hadn't woken up. He was planning to go fishing with his dad, but his heavy body made it impossible for him to take a step. Hatred made him unable to let go. He simply couldn't leave with his dad. At this moment, his dad opposite him became anxious. Just one last step. He hooked Lin Tian with a fishing line, trying to pull him over. At this moment in the real world, a pale hand waved out a wisp of blue smoke. Soon, most of Lin Tian's soul was pulled out of his body, but red threads appeared from within his body again, and pulled Lin Tian back. The 3 in the illusion became anxious. Why can't this person be pulled out? But soon they calmed down. In that case, then I'll just take your shell. Your soul can be destroyed. Then they poured gasoline on themselves. The next second, flames erupted. The screams and wails of the 3 filled Lin Tian's mind. Sorrow instantly welled up in his heart. Lin Tian watched the scene before him in despair. In reality, Lin Tian's soul also began to dissipate. Just as he was about to be overwhelmed by their words, a figure dispersed the flames. Seeing the junior sister arrive, Lin Tian was very surprised, but the next second, the junior sister let out a loud shout, and instantly dispelled the illusion. Lin Tian found it incredible. Was I trapped in an illusion just now? The junior sister babbled, telling him to leave, but Lin Tian didn't understand a single word. The helpless junior sister came forward to pull him away, but Lin Tian said he wouldn't leave. He shouted forward, "Whether you're a demon or a ghost, dare to use my family as a trap, get out here." Soon, a whirlwind began to gather. "You really are a fool. You could have died in my play, but you had to jump out and ask for trouble." Not long after, a huge, eerie wooden puppet appeared before the two of them. "In that case, then I'll let you thoroughly experience despair." Seeing Lin Tian wasn't afraid of it, the evil spirit was somewhat annoyed. "You don't even run when you see me, then I'll let you thoroughly experience despair." Lin Tian wouldn't allow anyone to joke about his family. "Bastard, today, whether you're a ghost or a demon, I won't let you go." The evil spirit was somewhat excited. "Hatred and guilt. Kid, your soul is too fragrant. Just add a little despair, and it will be even more delicious. But it's rare to see a fool like you these days. Truly rare. Precious family, huh? Your family members are clearly all burdens. They're all dead now. You should be overjoyed in your heart." Lin Tian fiercely kicked him. "You bastard, you talk too much nonsense." But this kick stunned the evil spirit. "You can actually touch me? What kind of monster are you?" Lin Tian landed another punch. "Shut up, you talk too much." Soon, the evil spirit reacted. Finally, someone can touch me, then let me have some fun. Don't die in one hit." This ghost's chatter gave Lin Tian a headache. He braced himself and charged forward again, but the next second, the evil spirit disappeared on the spot. Then, arms filled the area below Lin Tian. In an instant, he was restrained. No matter how Lin Tian struggled, he couldn't break free. Only then did he realize, the junior sister had been caught by the evil spirit at some point. "Let her go. This has nothing to do with her." The evil spirit chuckled. "Hey, once you're on my dinner table, don't even think about leaving." Then he opened his bloodthirsty mouth, and swallowed the junior sister in one gulp. "Ha ha ha, still a Taoist. This is truly nourishing. Perfect as an appetizer." A barrage of verbal attacks enraged Lin Tian. Lin Tian's fur bristled. Immense strength instantly broke the restraints. The evil spirit was excited. "No, blame yourself. Feel guilty, it's all your fault. You bastard. Spit her out quickly, or I'll tear you apart. Speak." The evil spirit, right in front of Lin Tian, transformed into his sister's appearance. Lin Tian was furious. "Are you fucking treating me like a fool?" But the next second, his sister hugged him. "Brother, I missed you so much." Lin Tian knew the other person was fake, but he couldn't bring himself to strike, no matter what. In this moment of hesitation, several large hands of the evil spirit bound him tightly. The evil spirit mocked, "So what if it's fake? You'll still invest your emotions. This is the weakness of humans. And I've been a ghost for 100 years now. I've devoured so many souls. I've seen too many fools like you. Just cater to your desires. And no matter how fake the play, you'll willingly believe it. Give them a little fantasy, and they'll obediently sell their souls." Lin Tian was extremely disdainful. "You even have to play around before eating someone. You ghosts are truly despicable." The evil spirit told him. "What do you understand? I'm a soul connoisseur. Of course, I have to cook it carefully before eating. Hatred, anger, anxiety and pride are all rich delicacies. How about I add some more pain for you?" Then he ripped off both of Lin Tian's arms. "Although your soul isn't that easy to dislodge, but I have plenty of ways." The next moment, the evil spirit conjured a guillotine. "Don't be afraid. Its invention was to reduce pain. This is also your reward for holding out until the end. And thanks to you, I haven't had this much fun in a long time." The evil spirit slammed the rope down with a bang. The next second, the 1,000 jin heavy axe fell heavily.